Attentive listening, vulnerable communication, releasing control, asking for what you need, and not expecting perfection. I think these are 5 things that you must cultivate before even thinking about pursuing a monogamous relationship. Before proceeding, I do recommend watching the video I made before this, part 1, where I discuss 5 things that you need to let go before pursuing a monogamous relationship. As always, I like to mention that I am not a relationship expert. I am just speaking from my experience as being in a relationship, monogamous relationship for 4 years, and from friends and conversations I've had and comments and things that I've learned. I just am bringing it all together and just kind of throwing out things that I have learned and things that other folks have learned, just because I feel like there's a need or want for more monogamous relationships in our community. But nobody talks about how to do that or things that we need to do to attain that. So starting with active listening. So I think it's important to actively listen to, well, I'm not even just going to say active. I think active and attentive listening is important. I mean, it's all your focus, you're solely focused on the speaker. And in this instance, obviously someone that you are interested in dating. And I think this is important because I think a lot of folks don't listen to people. And without listening to people, you won't know who they are. And to know someone is important because you want to be in a relationship with them, not just anybody and not them and 5 other people. You want to be in a monogamous relationship with them. So you have to truly listen to them and understand and learn who they are. And for me, the best way to do this is listen to what they say. Yes, watch their actions, but a lot of people will tell you a lot more when you are a very attentive and active listener. And active listening for me is more so than just listening and then like repeating what you heard. It's about digging deeper and asking like deeper questions and understanding, why are they telling me this? Like, why are they, what makes them think this way? How did they come to this conclusion? And that's how you really get to understand someone as a person and like their essence. I think this also goes into the next point, just vulnerable communication. And this is back and forth. This is also for you. You need to give raw, authentic, truthful, just answers. Speak up, speak your truth, know your truth, and don't sugarcoat it. There's no reason to sugarcoat it. This is someone that you are planning to be just with, just one person, nobody else. You're trying to build a life with this person. You are trying to grow with this person. They need to know who you are, and you need to know who they are. So vulnerable communication is definitely something that you need to learn how to cultivate within yourself. Like, do you even talk to yourself 100% honestly? Do you know what's going on with you? This is why I always like to tell folks, pen and paper. Start journaling, start understanding yourself, start getting to know yourself, spend time with yourself, be honest with yourself. And I think that for me personally, the more honest that I was with myself, I learned how to be more honest with other people. And not that I wasn't being honest with God, maybe I should slow down. Not that I wasn't being honest with other people, it was just more so like I didn't know what to say. I didn't know my truth. I didn't know what was going on with me because I never took the time to figure out what was going on with me. And then when I did take the time, I could be more honest with people and I could really speak up and really let them in and let them know who I was, because I finally knew who I was because I took the time to figure out, who am I as a person. Releasing control. This is a hard one for me. I grew up controlling everything because I thought that kept me safe. Little did I know that caused all of my stress, problems, and anxiety. Releasing control is very important, and I think it specifically goes to that person. And I think there can be, I don't know, this weird period where, or at least if you're like me, there's like this period where you kind of like teach people how to act around you. I don't know if that makes sense, but it's almost like you praise the good and you like shame the bad, and that person kind of turns into exactly what you need or want. And I've noticed that in not just some partners or earlier on in my relationship, but even just in like friendships, where that person is almost like a people pleaser and they're very attuned to how they need to act to like please you. And I think that that is not good, because then they're becoming a version of what you want. They're not becoming themselves, and their true colors will come out over time, because a person can only act but for so long. So release control, let that person be who they are. Don't shun, don't discipline, don't teach, just let them know, let them be, and get to know who they are without you saying, I didn't like that, or why did you say this, or why did, like, don't critique them. Just let them be and just take data. And I think this is very important, because if you want to be with this person for the rest of your life, that mindset shift means you need to be with this person. Who is this person? Figure out who this person is without you telling them and restricting how they act, what they say, where you guys go, what they do, how they dress, how they cut their hair. And this might be funny, but no, I literally did all that when I first started dating my partner. A lot of learned behavior, specifically from my parents, but I started cutting his hair because I want his hair to look a certain way. I started buying him these clothes. I started getting rid of his clothes, and I was molding him into what I thought he should look like, or what I thought he would look better as. And he let me. Not to say that he was a pushover or a people pleaser or anything like that. You can kind of make your own judgments about that. But I was just very controlling. I recognized my part was I was very controlling. And over time, what I realized was I didn't know who he was, and that was causing some issues in our relationship. And I finally realized, take a seat, relax, sit back, and just let him be. Asking for what you need. This is huge, 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 because if you don't speak up, if you don't ask for what you need, then you will not get your needs met in the relationship. And I think this is the tricky part for me was not demanding it, but requesting it. And if he wasn't able to fulfill a need that I wanted, and I wasn't able to fulfill that need myself, then it was okay, then maybe this isn't the right relationship for me. Specifically, my love language is quality time. So I do need a partner that knows how to spend quality time, that wants to spend quality time, and not ample amounts of time separated, which I know there are some couples that can spend a lot of space and time separate, but for me, I feel loved when I feel like we're doing something of quality, when we're spending time together, when we are connected. And that is something that I learned a long time ago that I needed. I also need space to talk and have vulnerable conversation, and to literally vomit all my feelings on the table, because sometimes I'm so overwhelmed and sometimes there's so much going on up here that the only way for me to sort through what is going on is for me to vomit on the table and just put it all out there. And I learned that has helped our relationship, because we do give each other space to do that, more so me. But spend time with yourself. I always say this because I think that we don't spend enough time with ourselves to understand and learn ourselves, but that's the only way you're going to figure out what you need. And that's the first step to communicating what you need, is figuring out, what do I need? So be attentive to yourself. What's going on with you? How are you feeling? And why are you feeling the way that you feel? And is there any way that your partner can support you? And if they have the capacity, ask them to do it, and they can support you in that way. But they are not mind readers. They cannot guess and assume and know everything for you. That is your part, to figure out what you need and to ask for it without demanding it. My fifth and final thing that I feel like we need to cultivate is not expecting perfection. And obviously, this is kind of oh, well, I don't think that I expect perfection, but we do. I think that accepting flaws in a person, accepting that they are human, accepting that they are going to make mistakes is very important, because it's hard to just blend two lives together, especially when you've come from two separate or different upbringings. It takes a lot of time, communication, easing into, but through that process, there's a lot of mistakes. There are a lot of things that can happen, and you will have mistakes, they will have mistakes, you'll see their flaws, they'll see your flaws, but being able to say that is okay. It's okay that you're human. It's okay that you have flaws. It's okay that you have imperfections. I love you in spite of that. And I think that is the beautiful thing of monogamous relationships, is we just do the best we can, and that is enough. We don't have these high expectations that the rest of the world put on us to produce, to act, to show up a certain way. I love you just as you are. Even though you mess up sometimes, I love that mess up. It shows you're human. It shows that you are not perfect, and none of us are. And we all put up this facade that we are perfect. And it's this is the only time, this is the only space, in my opinion, for me, in my monogamous relationship, where I can just be fully myself, and let go, and make huge mistakes, and still be seen for someone that is just doing the best that they can. Given forgiveness. And I think that's very important to realize that in the relationship, and even during like dating and the beginning of the dating phase, like, let them be human, let them make mistakes, but look at the core of who they are. Are they doing it intentionally to hurt you, to sabotage you, to make you feel bad? Like, are they like, what are their intentions? And I think for me, I'm pretty good at picking up on people's intentions, because I just not only listen to what they say, I watch what they do as well, and talk about it too. Don't just watch what they do and listen to them and then just run away and make your own conclusions. Bring it up to them. Why do you think that that's okay? Why are you treating me this way? Is it truly because you don't think that I'm worthy? Do you think that I'm not a great person? Do you think I should be treated terribly? Like, just be honest with them. Just have a conversation, but give them space to be human. Give them space to mess up, and do that for yourself as well. I am super eager and excited to know what you all think about these 5 things that I feel like we should cultivate before even thinking about being in a monogamous relationship. And yeah, just your experiences, what you would add, take away. Yeah, talk to me down below. And remember to be the change you wish to see today. Take care.